Hey guys, it's Ingrid and I am here to do an exclusive tutorial just for our group, Loaded Envelopes Galore, and I'm going to be making these adorable wands. And here's the paper collection that I used, just in case you guys were wondering. But what makes these wands great is that you don't need a lot of supplies. So we're going to start off first with the flower, and your base, well, we're going to eyeball that. And then the first row, you're going to cut 6 3-inch squares. And then the second row, we're going to do 8 of 2.5-inch squares. So you're going to see I kind of messed up. And so what's great about this flower is that even if you mess up, you can just, wing it. So I just took some heavy cardstock and I just eyeballed a circle, and it's about 4 inches, but you're going to see in a little bit that I'm going to realize that it's a little bit too large. And when you're making this flower, you want to make it large because that's what most of the wands are, but then it kind of can get out of hand depending how far out you put your petals. So you might end up having to cut it down a little bit. But always start with bigger, you can always cut down. So now I'm taking all of my squares and I just rounded them out. Eyeballed it. They do not need to be perfect, and actually the less perfect, the better. And then the fun part is you get to crumble it up. So take out all your aggressions and just crumble that paper up. So here I'm opening up the inside of the petal, and I just laid some hot glue down. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of out of frame. I'm shooting in a different location, and when I looked up, it looked like I was in frame. So I apologize here, but all I'm doing is laying the petals out and to see if and where they should go. And you'll see I have to undo some. And then I realized I better put a mat down because I'm kind of messy. So the good part is I'm back in frame a little bit better. So what I did is the 2.5 diameter circles, those are going to be my outer edge, and then my inner edge are going to be the smaller circles. And like I said, you're going to see I'm going to actually end up cutting some more because of the way I laid it down. I maybe put the petals a little too tight, and therefore I needed some extra. So you see here I had some extra little scraps left over, and I am going to use those to make more petals. And then I yanked this one off, and I think I yank another one off in a minute to try to make it fit. So at this point, you can actually finish the flower here and add something else in the middle. Like I thought about adding some tulle, but then I decided to just finish off the flower. But if you want to add like a rhinestone or really anything that you want in there, some fabric, any little embellishment, that would be cute too. So here you could see where I had totally run out, but I had a little bit of paper left. So this flower literally just takes one 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and then the cardstock that it's backed on, and then of course the straw, and I think I used a doily in this one. So here I just trimmed off the excess of some of the roses, just so that it wasn't looking, it looked more symmetrical. So I backed it with a doily, and I am attaching my straw, and I am cutting a circle actually I decided not to, and I put another doily to finish it off. So there's our first wand. And actually, hold on, I forgot, I added some ribbon and some tulle to finish it off, like little petals or leaves. So now our second one is going to be a bow, and for the bow, your main bow is going to be 2 inches by 12 inches. The tails are going to measure roughly 1.5 inches by 4 inches. And then the middle section is going to be 2.5 by 1 inch. And the measurements are a little loose on this, especially for the bow, for the tails and the middle, because I will move it around a little bit. So for this, I'm using an envelope punch board. And what I did is from each edge, I lined it up at the end of the paper at 2, and then I punched down, I flipped it over, punched down again, and did it on the other side. And then I just estimated where I thought the middle of it was, and it's that easy. And then flipped it over, lined up the two middles, and I'm not that big of a perfectionist, so it was okay. And then that's it. And then you just fold them over and glue it down, and it's like the easiest thing. Here you see I'm making the tails, and I just snipped in the middle and then matched the corners to make it like that V-shaped. And then I'm going to back it onto a doily, and we're almost done with this bow. It's super easy. And really, anyone can do it. And if you don't have an envelope punch board, you can look at the shape, just pause the video where the shape is, and try to mimic it yourself and make it. So there's bow number 2. And for our last bow, I'm going to be making a rosette. And this one we're going to do using the Martha Stewart scoreboard, or any scoreboard. And if you don't have a scoreboard, you can always use a ruler and either a pencil or something else to mark up your lines. So here I'm cutting, I'm going to make 2 rosettes. The larger one is going to be, I'm going to have 2 pieces at 2.5 by 12. And then my smaller one is going to be 2 inches by 12 inches. And then I'm just scoring here at every 1/2 inch mark. And this is probably the most tedious part of the whole thing. So, and here's a confession. I'm really bad at rosettes, but for whatever reason, when I was filming this video, it all lined up. But I did like a preview of it yesterday, and I couldn't get them to work. So there you go. There's my little confession for you. So here I'm finishing up, and then I'm going to just accordion fold it, and I start with a peak. So it looks like your first piece goes down, and then you fold over, and then you're just going to do that every other one. And like how you guys used to probably make fans when you were little. And what I did yesterday is I used my little bone folder there, and I did each section. But what ended up happening is I weakened the paper, and it tore. So today I decided just to do it with my hand. And as you could see, I glued 2 of the ends down, and then the other 2 down. And I'm going to take this circle that I just punched a 1-inch circle, and it really doesn't matter. I filled it with some hot glue and put it down so that it would hold my rosette together. And then this one was a little bit easier since I had a base down. And here I'm just layering, and originally I was going to do the doily, and I decided not to at the last minute. And so I'm just taking some embellishments that I had pulled aside earlier that I thought would be cute together, and they're kind of Valentine-y, but with crafting, Valentine's kind of goes year round, right? So anyways, I'm just layering some stuff here. I'm going to add my straw. And as you can see, another tip is I actually crimp down the edge of my straw so that it'll lay flat, and then I cover it, and that makes it seem a little bit more seamless and not have so much bulk. So here are my 3 flowers, or wands: a flower, a rosette, and a bow. And I decided at the last minute that bow needed just a little bling, so I'm going to come in with a rhinestone. I'm going to look for a couple and decide on a rhinestone to put in the middle. But I hope this helps out, and that it inspires you to join a swap and make some beautiful wands. They're one of my favorite accessories that go inside of a loaded envelope. So I hope that it was self-explanatory, and let me know if you have any questions down below, and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible, or one of the admins will. So thanks a lot again, and I hope you enjoyed. Talk to you later.